Oh God, Dane.
Hello everyone. Welcome back. Today I got a special guest with me today. I have Hellfire RPG, goes by the name Brent.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Brent has a RPG YouTube channel, and I've actually followed a lot of his stuff. I discovered Brent. I discovered you from your Star Ocean review. When you like went through and reviewed the whole Star Ocean series from beginning to end, right?
Yeah, right. That would have been a few years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed like a grind.
Ah, the third one was a grind. I can tell you that. Unpopular opinion, but yeah, I struggled through that one.
Yeah, that actually that's why for me, because I was watching them, and for me when I got to your third review, I was like, okay. I was like, I like this because that's one of those like Star Ocean 3, I feel like is one of those games like there's certain games you're not allowed to talk about, like bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's one of them. Oh man, that was massive back in the 2000s.
Yeah, it was huge. And people I think a lot of people kind of have that memory of it. And it's just like an untouchable game. You can't criticize it. And so like to hear you just like blatantly say like, "Hey guys, like I just gotta be honest with you. Like, this isn't like amazing." I was like,
Yeah.
oh, good. Okay, feed me, Brent.
Yeah, yeah, no, I like most games, but I've tried that one now twice when it came out and then a few years ago. Yeah, it just didn't click for me. We'll just
Yeah,
say that.
yeah. Well, I have so I'm on my channel. I have a series where I'm going through and beating every PS2 RPG, and that's on the list.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few of those. Yeah.
So it's gonna be an interesting ride. All right. Well, hey, maybe before we jump into and talk about like our topic today, kind of give my audience a quick breakdown of what your channel is and what you do over there.
All right. Well, hi everyone. My name's Hellfire RPGs, or Brent. I started about 10 years ago. Got to the point where like I was writing a lot of written reviews for RPGs, and then I thought, oh, YouTube's getting a bit bigger. May as well, do something else with my video editing skills. So um, just dropped a review for Dragon Age 3 back in 2015, I think it was. Um, and then, yeah, since then, every single RPG that I've played, I've been reviewing. And I've kind of gone down the paths of other things like making fact series where I look into like facts you might not know about certain games. And more recently, top 10 countdowns, counting down my top 100 JRPGs of all time right now. So that's a pretty big series. But majority of the things I do is JRPG related because that's 95% of the games I play, I think.
Yeah, you're at home here.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, obviously the same for you as well. So yeah, that's a little bit about my channel. Mainly reviews and top tens at the moment.
Okay, awesome. I uh I remember there's a group of videos that Video Donkey did about reviewers. I don't know if you follow Game Donkey, but
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah,
he
a little
he
bit.
he talks about how if you're gonna like a reviewer doesn't need to be right, they have to be consistent. He talks about how
Yeah,
how
all
a
right.
good reviewer has opinions that are consistent, and then the people will find someone and be like, "This guy thinks like me. I like how he thinks about video games," and that's like how like you catch on to good reviewers. And he had all these examples of like people who have like terrible opinions but are really popular because their opinions are consistent, you know? Anyway,
Yeah,
I think like what drew me to your reviews specifically is like I like the way you think about them, and like you say things like one other example from your stuff recently was the oh shoot what Miss Studios did the mobile RPG two part.
Fantasian.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
thank
right.
you. Yeah, and I watched your review and like I always appreciate like you'll be like, yeah, this was great. This was great. I did not like this. Like, so I just wanted to plug that
Yeah.
in. Like, I think I like the way you think about these games and respect kind of
Ah, cheers.
your opinions
Appreciate
on
it.
it. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, so what we're gonna be doing today is Brett and I have kind of connected on a topic we're both interested in, and today we'd like to talk about our 10 favorite games. Uh, well, games that not just some people might just think are it doesn't matter if other people might not think they're not objectively amazing, but we do. We find these the best, our favorite games, kind of good experiences, and we're gonna tell our stories with each one, and run through. I'm gonna let Brent start with his number 10. I'll do my 10, and we'll jump back and forth like that. So Brent, why don't you kick us off?
All right. So I'll start by saying that this is really exciting for me because I can talk about things that aren't RPGs. I've got a couple in here that aren't. So, uh, yeah. So this first one is probably something everyone on the planet has played at one point. It is the Guitar Hero series. Or
Oh,
any of the Guitar Heroes will do. One that I haven't played for about 10 years, but there was a point in my life that I was absolutely obsessed. Um, I'll start by saying I am not musically talented at all. I tried playing the real guitar when I was like 10 or 11. I've still got it in the shit actually, but
yeah.
uh, yeah, I was not good at all. I'm completely tone deaf. Uh, I reckon I have an awesome taste in music, but something about Guitar Hero really clicked with me. I think it was more of a social aspect. Used to get my mates together. This is when we were young 20s. Used to hit the town a lot. We always used to go to each other's houses, have a few drinks, smash out the Guitar Hero, and I have some great memories of that. A couple of us got pretty good, got to the expert level, but have you ever seen like videos of the pros playing this game?
I was just about to bring that up because I forget his name, but he just did Fire in the Flame at
Yeah.
200% speed.
Wow. Yeah. That was what I was going to say. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know anyone in particular, but you see these videos of people playing through the fire and the flames from Dragon Force, and it's just insane. Never got even close to that level, but
You weren't sitting there playing it with your elbow and like
I tried, but it seems like a lot of songs on expert are you're pretty easy, but then you have that that song was always
infamous,
the
right?
bar. Yeah, and like if you can last more than 20 seconds, you're pretty good, I think.
Not enough drink.
Uh, yeah, but that is definitely something I want to do a bit. I've got two kids now, and they're 1 and 4, so I'll wait till they get a little bit older. I've got in the later iterations they brought out the drums and the microphones, so
The band hero, right?
yeah, Rock Band, and there were
Rock band,
there
that's
were a
right.
few of them. So yeah, that allowed 4 people to play at a time, which was even better. But yeah, I'll wait till my kids get a bit older until I get it out of the shed. But yeah, that's my number 10. Huge, awesome memories for that one.
That's awesome. Real quick, let me ask you a question. What was your favorite song to play on it?
Oh, I don't remember, but this tells you a little bit about the age we lived in. I had a Wii. I had all this on the Wii. I plugged in like a 32 or even 16 GB thumb drive in the back of the Wii, and all
Yeah.
the songs that I downloaded, the metal songs, because I'm a big fan of metal, used to download onto that. So like I remember downloading rock as well. So like Atreyu, Bullet for My Valentine, Blink 182, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Used to play all those downloaded songs.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, my number 10 is Pokemon Silver version. I
Mm.
I so this is the first game I remember like anticipating getting because I didn't get into video games until I was a little bit older, but we did have Game Boys. But I always thought like Game Boys were for, you know, I mean we had Tetris, we had the Ninja Turtle game, and me and my brother, we kind of shared stuff. But and then my buddy across the street, he let me borrow his red version one day of Pokemon. And I played, and I remember I didn't like understand what it was, but like something clicked in my brain. It was actually the first RPG I ever played. Um, and anyway, of course, got
It,
swept.
it may be mine as well.
You think? Oh, so really the or blue and red version?
Yeah, my one of my good friends came over on Christmas with his Game Boy. I never had one with Pokemon Red or Blue. I can't remember. And yeah, I was into the anime at the time when it just came out, and yeah, I had a little bit of a play. So technically, that might have been my first RPG as well.
That's awesome. I actually the I knew about the games before I knew anything else. But man, growing up with like the Pokemon fever, that was what a peak time to like be a kid. You know, like that was
So
so
good.
exciting. So exciting. And I
Every morning
remember,
before school.
yeah, yeah. And the Pokemon cards, you got the anime, you got the video games.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember seeing commercials for the second generation, and you saw these Pokemon that you hadn't seen before, and I like the concept was so uh I hadn't fathomed it yet as this like 9, 8 year old kid, however old I was. I think I was older than that, but and 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 I was like, dude, there's a second game with new Pokemon like that. Boom, mind blown. And I just I was like, Mom, like I know it's not my birthday, I know it's not Christmas, and I know I'm poor as hell, but please buy me this game. And she went to Costco. She bought me and my brother, my I got silver version, my brother got gold version, and oh my gosh, I played the living nightmare out of that game. Like I
Nice.
drained those batteries, replaced them, drained them again. Man alive. Just such, and it's just such a, you know, I think when talking about like what you think are some of the greatest games or and mixing with your favorite, that nostalgia is important. And because it's like imprinted on you. And this is one of those games where it's just imprinted on me.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like I've played a few Pokemon games over the years, but nothing comes close to like Red and Blue. Like,
Yeah,
I did end up playing that through the emulation because I didn't have the Game Boy. But yeah, it's just the experience of that first one is
so
amazing.
good. So good. And they're
Yeah,
still good. They're still amazing.
yeah. I've kind of dropped off. Unfortunately, I've played a couple of them over the last
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
decade.
meaning
But
the classics. I have too. Like I don't like the new stuff. I've
oh yeah,
I feel it's just slop at this point. But you go back to those classics, especially like the first three generations. They're just
yeah. I need to do that.
the
Yeah,
Ken. I think the artist's name is Ken something. He did the designs for the first three generations, and then they brought on like different people after that. But it brings me home.
yeah. Right.
All right, your turn.
Okay, so this is back into my comfort zone, the JRPG genre. This is one probably not too many people know about because it's stuck on the PS2. Um, Not sure if you've reviewed this one yet. Shadow Hearts Covenant.
Oh my gosh. It right now it's sitting of the 15 games I've completed, it's sitting at the top. It is
Yes,
that is I think that's objectively an amazing game, no matter what my
absolutely.
opinion is.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for a bit of context, if you've never heard of it, it's the follow up to or the original Shadow Hearts, which also had a PS1 prequel called Kudelka. And it follows a character named Yuri, who hands down is my favorite protagonist ever. He is just such a badass. He can turn into demons, and I know I'm talking about Shadow Hearts 2 right here, but his introduction to Shadow Hearts 1 was just amazing, where he's on a train and he crushes a demon in his hand, and that will always stick with me. I fell in love with Yuri, but he really shines in Shadow Hearts 2. Something I love about this series, or Shadow Hearts 2 in particular, is it's so dark and gritty. There's demons, there's blood, way more mature than most other RPGs of the time. But as you know, there's also like a comedic element as well. Like one
Yeah.
moment is just dead bodies everywhere, and the next you'll be laughing your ass off for whatever
Yeah.
reason. And I just think that mix is just absolutely perfect with this game. Um, and
A line
also,
sticks out in my mind when he fights like this psychic who like floats on a pillow and they totally
they're
obliterate
sitting on
him.
the couch.
Yeah, yeah, on the couch, and then they're like walking away, and he's like, he never told me where he got that pillow or something. I don't remember what the
Yeah,
exact
yeah,
line
yeah,
was.
yeah.
I was like, dude, this
Ah,
guy's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Yeah, just so many amazing moments. Another standout feature for me, the combat system. Um, just I won't go into the nitty gritties, but there's a judgment ring. So basically, when you attack, you have to time your attacks. It's like a clock, and you have to time the clock hand is moving around, and you have to time it at certain points. Um, to land criticals and to land attacks, and it's a risk reward system. So uh, like if you go for the small critical area, you'll deal more damage. But if you miss, then the attack won't pull off. And
Yeah.
just that whole concept is just taken to the next level in Shadow Hearts 2.
Right, because they gave
And
you the ability to customize the ring so you
yeah,
could
that's
make the
right.
spaces smaller and make your crits bigger, or you get like the what was it, mind's eye, where it makes the things you need to hit invincible, but
Invisible. Yeah, that's
it doubles your attack or something, right?
yeah. Yeah, I always use that. It's kind of like just a natural reflex after, like by the end of the game, you know
Yeah.
where the hit areas are. Yeah, amazing, amazing. It's also got a spiritual successor right now. Have you heard of Penny Blood?
Yeah, I backed it.
Yeah, so, I guess that's the story for another day. Not
Yeah,
sure about.
I, you and I cut from the same cloth. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, not sure how well that's going right now, but
I know.
yeah, fingers crossed that it happens
It seems
sometime
like the
soon.
Wild Arms successor is going to work out at least, so that's good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my number 9, Shadow Hearts Covenant.
Love it, love it. When I'm done with going through all 160, I think it's 167 RPGs on the PS2.
Yeah, wow.
I can't imagine Shadow Hearts Covenant not being in the top at least 10, if not five. Like
Yeah, oh,
it's
yeah, totally
anyone who
agree.
hasn't played
Has
it,
to be
go find a copy.
absolutely.
All right. Um, my number nine. And I think I have a list of my favorites, a top 10 list. I'm just a list guy. I just have lists all over the place. I have my top 10 favorites, but then I have a top 10, like what I believe to be objectively the greatest games ever made. Spoilers, I think the objectively greatest game ever made was Tetris. I just think like no one can
Yeah,
not play
right.
Tetris and not like enjoy it. But number two on that list is Minecraft, which is number nine on my favorite games list. Um,
Okay.
I just, I grew up a Lego kid, and anyone who took Legos seriously was like, it'd be awesome, Legos, but you're God. Like it's just and Minecraft was that answer. And what's amazing too is that, Minecraft has just exploded and spawned clones all over the place. I've tried them. I did like the Dragon Quest Builder, Terraria. There are a few other ones, but there's something about the original crafting, game that just will always impress me. I remember
Yeah.
I saw first time I saw it was when I was in college, and I went over to this buddy's house, and he had the beta on his PC, and he was showing me the game, and I was like, wow, this is so smart, you know? Like
Hmm.
It's just like this is so smart. And and I know it's kind of hard to because Minecraft is just a behemoth now, you know, and there's just so many people who play it and talk about it, but I think it deserves the attention it gets. It's just a freaking fantastic game.
I hear a lot of good things about it. I've actually never played it
No
seriously.
way.
I played
Oh,
I played 20 minutes in class with my students. I'm
uh-huh.
a teacher. Um, didn't really know what I was doing, but
Yeah.
it seemed all
You
right. They were
get
just telling me to do stuff.
get a mentor, but to teach you the way it's good. I mean, it can be pretty complicated, honestly, especially
My
now.
plan. Yeah, sorry, I was just saying my plan to get into it is wait till my eldest is a little bit older, 5 or 6,
Yeah.
and then yeah, I think I'm gonna go,
Oh,
full hardcore Minecraft.
I've played it. So I have two kids too, 9, 10, and 11 actually. 10, yeah.
Yeah,
10 and 11 and we just I mean every once in a while we'll just pull it out and we'll play, build a house, blow stuff up, whatever we want. It's a fantastic game. I think it deserves every accolade it's ever received and yeah, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. But
yeah,
that's definitely my number 9 on my top 10 favorite games.
I will do one day.
All right, let's go number 8.
Okay, this is probably the newest game on the list, and the only one of the subgenre of RPGs is Baldur's Gate 3. Have you
Oh,
played it?
I have not. It's on my list, and my subscribers keep on telling me to make a tier list of stuff. I'm like, dude, I gotta play it first. I hear
Yeah,
it's amazing.
it, yeah. I've played about a dozen CRPGs, so I know a little bit about the genre, but don't get into it as much as others. But this game just blew me away. Like absolutely everything about it, top tier. Um, like just starting with how huge it is. There's just so much to do and see. I'll give you an example, right? So there's party members that are optional that can come into your party.
Uh-huh.
And I thought I was doing a side quest and I accidentally killed a party member thinking I was doing the right thing. And it turns out, then after I finished the game, I looked up a lot about the game to see what I missed and to see what other people are saying. And it turns out that that's like the unanimous favorite party member. And I
And
killed
you
her.
killed
And
them.
I killed her. I didn't even think twice about it. And then, yeah, so,
Was it the ogre
uh,
girl that you see all the time?
uh, nah, nah.
Oh,
It's, hang on.
I I've seen some stuff. There's like this. I feel like the one of the more popular characters is this like I don't know. She looks maybe like an ogre or maybe an undead something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I think you're thinking of, okay, no, it's Karlach.
Karlash.
Karlach? Yeah, Karlach.
Karlach.
I'm not sure how to pronounce it because she was never in my party because I killed her. So,
You just killed off the best character in the game. It's all right. We'll be all
yeah,
right.
I don't. Yeah, it kind of goes to show like the amount of options that you have to do
Yeah.
things. But apart from her, there are amazing characters. Like you've probably seen the character Asterion,
See, like
kind of like a vampire
the
ish
white-haired
character.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I've seen a lot of videos of him. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, like an incredible character. So I think the character as a character development is like second to none here.
Right.
Um, everything about the game is amazing, but I actually just saw yesterday there was apparently the final patch that
Yeah,
they'll
I
ever
did
do,
too.
patch 8 or something, something like 20,000 lines or words of updates. Made some significant changes. So I would like to go back and see how it's evolved. But I have to mention the game breaking bug that I had,
Oh no.
which did piss me off. It cost me about 8 hours of gameplay. I
Oh.
sold a key item and then killed that character that would sell me back the item. So basically, the item was gone. So I had to go
And
back 8 hours.
it was like a hard reset,
Uh,
or did you go back in your save file?
Yeah. I went back to my save files
Oh,
like as
okay.
far
I
back as I
was
could.
like, oh my gosh,
It
Just having
was
to start all over.
it was still a lot of time lost, but I'm sure that's been patched out now. But I think the highlight for me was an optional boss battle. If you're listening and you've played, it's the Cazador boss battle. So basically, it's probably the hardest fight in the whole game, and it's optional. And it's just like the build up is just incredible, and the vocal music that plays when you're playing this fight that just seems absolutely impossible.
Uh-huh.
And I died about a million times, and like eventually got there, but I didn't care because this music was so amazing. It's just that is one of my favorite boss battles in history. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
thumbs up for that one. But yeah, like I said, there's been loads of patches, and it's one of those games I really want to go back and play. I think the next 100 hours that I put into it would feel like completely new.
That's awesome. Let me ask you this real quick before we move on. Would you recommend doing, 'cause I'm a big research guy. Would you recommend looking up, ideal routes or anything like that before I play, or is this like one where you should just go in completely blind?
I say, like personally, I think every game you should go in completely blind. Except there's like a handful of them that I think are ridiculous that you have to follow a walkthrough. This is not one of them. I think you should just go in and just have fun.
Okay. Cool.
Don't look at different outcomes and like what your choices would do. Just make your choices, live with it. That's the fun of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. Well, my number eight is so about let me little history here. About 7, 8 years ago, I went through and I beat every Zelda game, like from beginning to end. This is before I really went full
Oh yeah.
force into YouTube. So I didn't make any reviews of them or anything, but I went through and I beat them all, and I decided objectively, like from a Zelda standpoint, I think that Twilight Princess is, I think, encompasses just the spirit of Zelda perfectly. And I think that if
Great.
you're
Yeah.
looking for like the perfect Zelda, I think that's the perfect Zelda. But number eight on my list is Zelda Majora's Mask. Um,
Oh, okay.
I this game as a kid was it was my first time experiencing like an obscure story, one that didn't give you answers. And so it left like an impression on me that I've only experienced now in my adult life with like the Souls titles.
Hmm.
It's so man, I don't even know what the right word is for it, but I replay it and I just can feel that like unease, as you play it. You have like this, the world is really like in a way dark, but it's like contrasted with all of these colorful kind of childlike characters and just the mystery, like I think most Zeldas have this where you explore an area and you find a heart piece sitting somewhere and you're like, how do I get to that, and then you find out it's some little puzzle. This one was a little more like ethereal in its mysteries. You're like, why is there a
Okay.
random fox guy with a random fox that just appeared out of a rock? Like, who are you? And like, why is this
Yeah.
little why is this little kid hiding and what's this? There's just all these fascinating little stories to be told throughout the whole game. And whenever I go back to the Zelda series, I think like I don't think Majora's Mask is the best Zelda game, but it's my favorite. Like it's something that has baffled me a little bit my entire life.
Yeah. Right. I I played all the Zelda games post like N64 era plus, and then except for Majora's Mask. So
What?
that's the one. I went back a few years ago and played Ocarina of Time for the first time,
Yeah.
and loved that. I own Majora's Mask as well, but just haven't had the time
Well,
to play
if
it.
if you do play it, it is worth getting yourself an N64 and not playing the 3DS version. Or if
No,
you,
no, no. I've got it. I've got it on N64 already.
okay,
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah, because I think that the 64 version of Ocarina of Time is the better version. Or sorry,
yeah.
the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time is the better version. But the
All
3DS
right.
version of Majora's Mask, it that they added in some things that take away this like mysterious experience and kind of
Okay.
the charm of it. So highly recommend it. Definitely should put that on your list to get to.
Ah, really want to do it. It's been on the list for a while. Trust me.
All right. Speaking of, let's hear your number seven.
All right. So this is the or my ultimate online game to rule them all. Uh, it's also the only strategy game on the list. I'm talking about StarCraft Brood War.
Oh, I had my son playing
Yep.
StarCraft just the other night.
Oh, man, it is so good. Um, you know, so like if you're not in the loop, so there was original StarCraft, which was good, but then there was an expansion to it called Brood War. Like this is years and years ago, and Brood War just took it to another level, and it was the most popular esports game for years, and it's all about the memories for me. I had a really close friend who unfortunately isn't with us anymore, but we had like amazing memories playing this basically every day after school. Like we were 13, 14 years old. We'd come home from school, we'd play it. This is so nerdy, but when we were at school, we talked about it, talked about strategies, and you could imagine how many girls we were getting at the time. Uh,
What are you talking
yeah,
about?
we yeah, oh man, those siege tanks were just like I made that was me. I was the siege tank guy. Yeah, we talked about it at the gym, just like everywhere that we went. We were talking about strategies. Then we went home after school and we played, just like cooperatively. It was awesome. There was also like a certain channel that we went to called Bravo, and it was a lobby of it, like just I don't know, just a group of people that always used to go in the same lobby every day, and we teamed up with them, and kicked ass, lost a lot of games as well. Another funny story there is this was the day that I don't know about where you're from, but in Australia around the early 2000s, it was dial-up internet,
Uh-huh.
and that was not only really slow, it was actually fast enough to play StarCraft, but whenever my grandma called my mum, which was a lot, it booted me off like the StarCraft game that I was on. Or whenever anyone called home, it just disconnected me from the internet. So you have a record in StarCraft, like wins, and then there was slash, and then losses, and then slash, and then disconnects. And my disconnect was always just
Just
so
skyrocketed.
ridiculously high because of my grandma calling. But it was
Freaking
I don't
dial
know.
up, man. That's one thing I'll never miss.
Yeah, man, I'm glad technology has evolved in that area, but yeah, StarCraft Brood War. I played a bit of StarCraft 2, a little bit online, nothing near what I did with Brood War, but
Yeah.
yeah, StarCraft 2 is also fun. So I don't know, maybe there'll be a third one sometime.
Are the siege tanks Terran? Is that
Hmm.
yeah, so is Terran
Yeah,
your race?
yeah, Terran, always
Yeah.
the one that I went. I usually went, siege tanks and then Marines and medics,
Yeah,
just like to protect him. But yeah, it was always Terran for me.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't grow up with StarCraft, but I did grow up with Warcraft. Like the first two. Yeah,
Yeah,
those strategy games are just there's something addicting about them, you know?
yeah, so good.
All right. This is number seven?
Yep,
Yeah, yeah. My number seven is Final Fantasy 9. Uh
great.
I will till the day I die, I will recommend it as the like gateway drug to RPGs. You know,
Yeah,
if you're a newcomer, if you've been around for years, like there is something like Final Fantasy 9 is like a fireplace and hot cocoa, you know? It's like it will never not feel good. And love the characters, love the story it tells. I think as a kind of more of a veteran of the genre, it definitely can be a little linear, you know? There's times when you don't get to customize your party and you're kind of following the rails of a story.
Mhm.
It's not as bad as I feel later titles like Final Fantasy 13 are, but
Mhm.
because it still kind of gives you this feeling of freedom. But I don't know. I look at that title, that game, and its mechanics and how it works, and just the especially like the art style and the creative mind behind it, and I just think, man, this is just RPG comfort food.
Oh, so good. You speak in my language, mate.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, good, because it's amazing. I was introduced. I really started getting into Final Fan or to RPGs in the PS1 era. We did not have we had like a Sega Genesis, but we didn't have many consoles before that. And I
Yeah.
wish I could say I was a Final Fantasy 6 baby because like then you're cool in like the Final Fantasy world, you know? But I'm a Final Fantasy 7 baby. You know, I'm Final Fantasy
Yeah.
7, 8, 9 and Tactics baby, you know? And but 9, man, I can't think about that game and not smile.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I was absolutely PS1 era for me. That got me into JRPGs. Eight, 7, 8, 9, amazing. Meant so much to me. That could have been it's not in my top 10, but it could have been in my top 10.
Easily,
It's
right?
amazing. Yeah. And well, let me ask you a question. How do
Yeah.
you feel with all these, teasers of the remake coming that, when nothing concrete has happened?
Brent. I, I don't know. I don't know how much faith I have in Square Enix these days. I am one of the very few people who actually did not care for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I like
All
I
right.
know it's at this point it's a cardinal sin, and I know people are just like my subscriber count's gonna go in half right now. But I to I support it. Like I liked Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't want to get into why Rebirth was kind of a bummer for me, but I hope they do good. I hope they give it the love. I hope it doesn't get that like glossy kind of Dissidia Final Fantasy 16 treatment where it kind of makes it look more like Assassin's Creed than a Final Fantasy game. Um, I'll say this, Brent. My kids and I are playing through Final Fantasy 9 and I'm trying to beat it before the remake comes out just to make sure that I preserve the originals in my heart, you know?
Yeah, all right.
So, complex emotions, let's just say that.
Awesome. And I think this is a perfect segue because you just said you might lose subscribers for saying that. And I might gain them back because my number 6 is the FF7 Remake Rebirth.
River, that's awesome. That was not planned.
uh, no, this is absolutely not planned. We both don't know each other's lists. This is a shout out to FF7, the original, the remake, and Rebirth. I'm gonna lump them all into one. Uh, so Final Fantasy VII was my second Final Fantasy growing up. I played 8 first, and yeah, just absolutely loved it. But in terms of the remakes, I could not ask for anything more.
Yeah.
It's like, as you know, it's not just a remake, it's like a reimagining or a sequel or whatever you want to call it. And some people like that, some people don't, but I love how there's everything that I loved, but there's also new stuff, things that I'm not expecting. um, Even things like, really like how there's like when you go back to remake, the extra time given to Biggs, Jesse, and Wedge, characters like that. And you see that throughout those games.
Yeah.
a lot. It opens up the world so much, and and that is really really apparent in Rebirth when the open world is
Yes, very
just
much.
absolutely massive. I'm the kind of guy that likes just traveling through the open worlds, doing things, and ticking boxes. Well, to an extent, some games it seems a bit repetitive, but it wasn't for me. I think it was just
Within
the right
reason,
amount for
right?
me. It was just the right amount for me in Rebirth. There was loads to do. It was just borderline repetitive. I reckon if there was a little bit more to do, I would have felt it was repetitive. So, like for me, it just hit that balance well. And I really love how we're only 2/3 of the way through, and like I have no idea what's going to happen.
Me
And there's
neither.
all this theory crafting going on, and I was big into the forums and stuff in the 2000s, and I love theory crafting with all those classic games. And I feel the same thing is kind of happening now with this remake trilogy.
Yeah.
Uh, and and I also love the mini games. A lot of people hate mini games. I freaking love them. There's so many of them. I don't care if they're forced either. But I spent so much time in Rebirth uh, playing them all. That was my jam.
Yeah. Yeah, so I want to say this real quick. Totally valid opinion on it. I do not think it's a bad game. I loved it. I love the combat specifically. And to see some of the original content that they redid there was great. I love like the expanded relationships between Cloud and the two female characters, everything like that. Loved
Yeah,
remake. Like remake was almost on this list. Like I loved remake. I
yeah.
there I this is what I'm gonna say. Game three could probably change my opinion completely of
Okay.
Rebirth. You know, I I'm
So what's the
hesitant.
one thing that really like put you off Rebirth then?
Ah, so I do have to I have to say so I broke my hand in jujitsu the day it came out and
Ouch.
and it may have soured my experience a little bit. So there may be like some personal gripes with it, but I felt that the checklist thing that you brought up went a little too far. And then
Yeah.
and then and then I there was kind of this contrast between remake and rebirth. I felt like remake was very somber and serious. And
Hmm.
and to my understanding, like some people kind of thought that was a joke, especially like mainstream kind of reviewers and stuff were like, this game's a little takes itself a little too seriously or something like that. I feel like uh Final Fantasy Rebirth, and this is like me defending my childhood. I was like, this is like they're making too many jokes at my expense. I felt like they're just not
Yeah,
taking a
fair
lot of
enough.
this serious, and so it's small things. I think it's a fantastic game, and honestly, one thing I will say about the new era Square Enix is that they are getting this new action turn-based style battle system down. Like this is
That was also what I was going to say. That is probably my favorite action combat system of all time.
oh, it's
Like
so well
from
done.
Rebirth. Yeah, perfect.
It's so well done. It's so like I mean I yeah, my favorite parts were doing arena battles and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
my least favorite part was half the mini games. The other half were
yeah,
amazing. I will always be down for card games.
yeah,
Love card games, love all that stuff. But yeah. Yeah. No,
yeah.
totally respect it. Um,
Right.
all right, my number oh crap, I should have this number six. These are number six.
Yeah, that's right.
Is freaking Elden Ring. And I'm replaying it right now. I'm playing Shadow of the Erd Tree and the DLC that came out recently. And I have to be honest, I created this list a while back. I think Elden Ring might have even jumped up further in this recent playthrough. I think that Elden Ring, when I think of like an open world game that I love, Elden Ring is the kind of game that comes to mind. I
Yeah,
if you're gonna give me an open world like Breath of the Wild, for example, it was another example of just ones that hit the right note for me. I want to like give me a story that doesn't get in my way and just let me just go ham, you know? And Elden Ring, and then I'm also just I have over the last, and this is probably my most recent discovery, but over the last 3-ish years, I have discovered the Souls-like genre,
yeah,
and I am addicted, like,
yeah.
and to an unhealthy amount. I
Oh,
I
that's so good.
I think my subscribers, a lot of my subscribers, I don't think are big fans of the genre, and so I feel like
Oh, tell me about it.
whenever I throw out content, they're like, "This isn't. Stop talking
This
about this
isn't a
bullshit.
JRPG.
Yeah, stop talking about this garbage." Like I'm like, "No, please, please, I need my fix." Like it's but yeah,
Yeah,
Elden Ring is such a phenomenal experience. One
yeah,
that I
right.
feel every gamer should have.
Yeah, great, cool.
Okay.
So I'm just going to jump into my number five here, right? It's probably a game you haven't heard of.
Okay.
It's called Elden Ring.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so uh, like
I'm
like
glad we
you,
coordinated this before we got together.
no, I think it's good that we didn't.
No, I'm too.
Huge From Software fan. I played the original Demon Souls in like on the PS3. I remember I was sick in bed, had to move the PS3 into the bedroom because I was bedridden for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And yeah, I fell in love with it from there. And I've played every FromSoft game and loved it, and all like Souls-like games. So good, consistently amazing series. I love the difficulty, love the mix of RPG mechanics and skill. So you can't just
You can't
buff
just
yourself.
stat your way through.
Nah, you got to have some skill too. And Elden Ring took everything I loved about the series and multiplied it by a million. I swear,
Yes.
it's just wow! It blew me away every step of the way. And to make the experience better, I had a couple close friends that I was playing it with at the same time, and every single night after work, we were texting each other, telling each other about our experiences, and
Like
yeah,
what you
just
discovered.
yeah, where we were, where they were. Someone was stuck on a boss, and I was like, "Oh, dude, that boss was so easy for me." And then my boss was like, I can't remember the Sentinel tree. I don't know. It was the. It's been a while since I played, but it was
Yeah.
the horse boss outside the big castle, the Sentinel
Oh
something
yeah,
that
the Black Rider or whatever, right?
that absolutely kicked my ass
Dude.
more than any other boss in the game.
Mine was the
Um,
Godskin Peeler guy. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Just
But it's funny how we all had like different struggles with different bosses, and
yeah.
that it was so good. And there's probably still so much that I didn't achieve in the game. I put like 120 hours into it. I was so excited to play the DLC as well, but I realized I'd have to start again to play it. So
Uh-huh.
unfortunately, I started a new game plus, and then that was my last save. So I didn't have a save that could just like trot me off into the DLC.
Right.
So yeah, I didn't end up playing it, unfortunately. But
Oh.
you say it's pretty good.
Well, yeah, so I started a complete fresh playthrough. I started off as the wretch, and I'm going through the list and hitting every piece of content from beginning to
Yeah,
end right
right.
now. It's a huge undertaking, but absolute blast. I haven't actually gotten to the DLC stuff yet, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, I feel like there's a few games out there that I'm thinking, how do they get better from here? And Elden Ring is one of them. Like, how can
Yes.
FromSoft exceed this?
Yeah, how do they go past Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne? Oh, let's just do what Breath of the Wild did, but better.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I also, for the record, I also feel the same way about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. How do they get better from there? Super Smash Brothers,
Yes. Yeah.
kind of Mario Kart as well, but they've kind of announced what they're going to do there. I don't know. That
Mario Kart
remains
one.
to be seen, but yeah, Elden Ring.
I
Amazing game.
love that hit right there on our list. That's amazing.
Hmm.
All
I
right.
wonder if there'll be any more.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the Switch 2. I forget what the game's called, but the exclusive on there. I have no
Oh,
hesitancy with From
yeah,
Software.
yeah,
None at all.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. My number five is Persona 4 Golden. Uh I I absolutely, and this one has like personal experience that made this my favorite Persona, because I think Persona if you played Persona 4, 3 Reload, Persona 4 Golden, Persona 5 uh uh shoot, what's the updated one? Royal,
Royal.
thank you, Royal. They're all fantastic. Persona 4 though, the time in life I was at, we had just had my first kid, my daughter. My wife was like, taking care of this brand new baby, and I was going to school. I was going to college for the first half of the day, and then I worked a swing shift at a factory. And so I had like no free time except for from I get back at 11 o'clock at night and I'd play from 11 to 12 before I went to bed. And I played Persona 4, and my life was so stressful and so busy, with a kid and with all this stuff going on, that like it was so fun to like spend an hour in this other world, this other kind of experience. And when you talk about like games that imprinted on you, and uh just like this like unbreakable experience that no one could ever like convince you differently. I don't know where I'm going with this, but Persona 4 is one of those, like I'll never
Yeah,
forget
cool.
that game because of that.
Yeah. Okay, so I haven't played it.
Okay.
It's just one of those games that I would have played, but I went back to play Persona 3 recently, and then pretty much immediately after I finished it, the remake was announced.
Ah,
And I played a little bit of that, and it was cool. I didn't finish it, but I think I'm just waiting for the remake. I've
yeah,
played Persona 5 as well. I haven't gone back to the first two, but I always hear good things about Persona 4, so I can't
yeah.
wait.
No, I highly recommend it. But yeah, I mean they are most likely going to remake it. Which if they give it the reload treatment, it will be a fantastic game. So well,
Yep.
it probably worth waiting for if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, I will be. Okay, so my number four.
Uh-huh.
We up to four? Okay, so if
Or
I
no,
asked you,
yeah, you're number 4. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
what is the best video game story of all time, what do you? Maybe I don't want
Best.
you to give away your answer. What do you think a unanimous decision would be about the best RPG story of all time would be?
Oh man. Best RPG story of all time. I feel like you're gonna give me the answer and I'm like, oh, duh. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, all right. It's Xenogears for me.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, it's one of
The
those games
Nietzsche
that's
philosophical story. Yes.
oh yeah, it's just up there with so many people. I just see it everywhere. It's like,
Yes.
what's the best video game story ever? And then you see the thread, and it's just Xenogears everywhere. Um, so yeah, and it is for me as well. So that's why it's number four on my list. The start of the Xena series. The series is amazing. By the
Yeah.
way, I don't know how many of the games you've played, but I've played them all, and it's one of my favorite series ever. Like, which ones have you played at
So
this
I've
point?
played through all the Xenoblade Chronicles. I've played the first Xeno saga, and I've played
Mm-hmm.
half of Xenogears. I'm really sorry I just said that out loud.
What do you mean about half? Like the first disc?
Like the first
Or...
disc.
all right, that's interesting because as
I it
amazing as the story is, the game shifts big time in the second disc. I'm sure you've
yes.
heard stories about that. So
Yeah,
yeah, if you're not in the loop, the story, it's basically a really complex plot, so many twists and turns, loads of like deep psychological themes. Storytelling is like absolutely on point in the first half on the first disc, but then the second disc, things got a bit rushed, and the narrative style changed. Still really good, but lost potential. It could have been so much better because of that second disc. So I've got to ask you, why did you stop at the end of the first disc?
Dude, it
That
was
was an
not.
amazing cliffhanger.
Yeah. It wasn't by choice. We lost our copy, and I actually don't know what happened to it. When I was a kid, we had it on the PS1, and we just didn't. I, I'm not sure what happened to it, but like, I at that
Oh
time I
no.
didn't have like a good process for playing games, and
Yeah.
especially RPGs. I feel like if my process is that I commit to a RPG. Like I don't like play like seven at a time. And
Yeah.
but back then it was just like pick and choose, and when the game started getting kind of boring, I'd jump over to this one, and so I never beat like anything as
So
a
it's been a
kid.
long time, and you probably don't remember much, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's on my list of like I got to get back to that.
Hmm.
Tell
Yeah. There's. I
Brent, I'm
think. I
gonna
think
make this
it's.
promise to you. I'm gonna go and play just because you've brought this up. I'm gonna go play and beat Xenogears this year.
Ooh. All right. Keep me posted.
I
I,
will.
I want to be along for that ride
Y-
because yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do it.
Good. Do it.
All
I
right.
think all your subscribers right now are very happy people.
I'm sure they are, if they're still around. Um, all right. So my next game here is a series that one of the more recent series that I discovered, which is the Trails series. I
Mm.
actually bought Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2 on the PS3 years
Yep.
ago, played them, and at that point I thought I had mined, you know, everything that was like phenomenal out there. I felt like I had at least experienced everything. And then I saw the series kept on popping up on like lists of like underrated video games and things like that. And so I played Cold Steel 1 and 2, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so then I just went ham with the series, played through the entire series. But I have not had more fun with the video game aside from Elden Ring. I can't think of an experience as fun as Trails into Reverie, which how familiar are
Oh,
you with the series?
very, very
Oh,
familiar.
okay, good, good. So
Played them all. Huge fan.
Reverie was like if you were a fan of Trails, Reverie was like dessert. Like it
Mm.
was the most fan service I have ever seen in a game. Like they did everything that I love. Like they had the Reverie corridor, which was kind of this sandbox area where you went and you could use any party out of like, I think there's 50 I made a tier list of the characters, like 50 or 60 characters you can use in that game. Every
Yeah.
mini game you ever played throughout the whole thing, you said you love mini games. I'm sure you you went crazy
And
doing that.
for all you watchers out there, yeah, you can date who you want on the beach.
Yes, 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 you can. Everything like
The
oh
epitome
man.
of fan service.
It is, yeah, and that fan service too. The whole thing is just, it was just like, I did not, there's very few games where you're getting like, I get like 67, 70 hours in, and I'm like, please don't stop. Like, don't be over soon. But this was one of
Yeah.
those games where I was like, don't be over. Like, let me keep on playing this. Like, don't end. And I did everything in that game. I did everything in that game. Um,
So are you talking the Trail series in general, or Reverie, or Cold Steel, or which one?
so I loved all of them, but Trails into Reverie specifically is my
Hmm.
favorite game in the series so far.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So
No,
yeah,
huge fan as well. Unfortunately, none of the Trail series made it for me. But uh, if they did, it would be Sky second chapter. That was just a
Y-
huge
which
one
I
for
bet
me.
you're looking forward to that remake.
Oh mate, yeah, oh so much. I think I was similar to you. I played Cold Steel 1 first, and then Cold Steel 2. But then I went back to Sky, and then the Crossbell Arc, and then Cold Steel 3 and 4, and then so on.
Yeah.
So, what was your journey?
So I did the whole I did the Trails uh the all four Trails games. So I did Trails 1 and 2, and then they came out the
The Cold
PS4
Steel, you mean? Yeah.
Cold Steel. And then I
Yeah.
did the remake the remasters on the PS4 for those. Then 3 came out and I played 3, then 4 came out, then I played 4, and then the Crossbell duology was released on the Switch, so I went back and played that. And then I played I played the Sky games, the first Sky game on the PSP.
Ooh,
I had
classic.
which I hate the PSP. Like I hate
Yeah.
my hands feel like they're going to
Yeah.
fall off.
Me too. I
Like
don't like
it's
handheld gaming.
Oh, it's the PSP is one of the worst though. It's like you can't anyway. And then the other two on Steam. So
Right.
so it was
Yeah.
it was good.
Right.
I as I went back, I had less I enjoyed the older ones less, mainly because I felt like it was really hard to go back to the more simpler gameplay, especially like Crossbell 1 and Sky 1.
Yeah.
Without like master courts and stuff like that. That was difficult for
Yeah.
me. Like I still enjoyed it, and the stories are so
Yeah.
good. So good. The ending of Sky 1.
Oh, mate.
It's
I've preached that on my channel so much.
it's just like, oh
I
gosh,
think it was like 2:30 a.m. when I finished the game because the last dungeon and the ending was so long,
so
and then
long.
like I couldn't go to sleep.
Yeah,
Like
just
I
so
had
hype
to best cliffhanger ever.
ever, and you just want to jump right into two.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. All right, my number three. Another one that isn't an RPG. This is Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. So to me, the Metal Gear series is kind of like well, growing up for me, it was kind of like the non JRPG series that Final Fantasy, the equivalent of Final Fantasy. So I had Final Fantasy, which is my favorite for a long time. Then I had Metal Gear, and it was like both of those for a long time. So if you add the loop, Metal Gear Solid 3 is a prequel to the first game chronologically. And and man, it's number three because of the story. I mean, the mission that Snake is sent on, and as you go through the game, he discovers loads of truths. And I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything, but like the ending is absolutely heartbreaking. I don't think I've ever like played a story that's just so like emotionally powerful. It has some of my favorite moments of all time in like not just video gaming, but any media. And I just the remake's coming up. It's called like Metal Gear, like
Yep.
Delta,
Delta, right?
and like if you haven't played the game, then man, you have to play it. Even if you haven't played any other Metal Gear games, that's fine. Play this game. The story is going to be incredible. It's already my favorite game of all time, and it's not even out yet.
Brett,
But have you played it?
I have never played a Metal Gear game. I own all of them. I have never played any of them. I'm so sorry. Like you can
Right.
just jump off.
It might be the genre that it might be the genre you're not into, but like it's different.
No,
I don't play like
I think
shooters or I don't play stealth games. Metal Gear is different.
I think I would like it. For whatever reason, I just have never played them, and I don't know why.
So, so you play the remake? Maybe is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I like to experience originals first because like they're remade for a reason, right? Unless it's like remade because it's bad, which usually doesn't happen. So I think my plan is to play the original trilogy with the new compilations they've been putting together. But I have to say, I have always been interested in number 4, the PS3 one, where
Oh,
he's like older. I
yeah.
don't know why that one's always intrigued me. So it, it,
I
it,
kind of think it. one and three are like the standout ones for me. Two's pretty cool as well. And four's pretty good as well, but I just feel that three is like the must play.
Yeah. That my brother-in-law agrees with you, by the way. It's his favorite series and his favorite game. So
Yeah, oh,
I
he has great taste.
it's great taste. I can't promise you I'll play him this year, but
Ah.
I think there's enough push that I do need to play these games. So I will try to
and
get to them.
and if you're listening to this, couple other things I just got to shout out to about the game. There is one absolutely incredible boss battle that involves like it's a sniper boss battle in a jungle. And if you know what I'm talking about, obviously you'll know it's the end, and that boss battle is insane. And to me, the two theme songs, Snake Eater and Way to Fall by Star Sailor, the way that they fit into the game and like Way to Fall is in the credits, it's just like absolutely chef's kiss. It could
Yeah.
not be better.
All right, cool. All right, my next game is freaking Bloodborne, man. I
Oh yeah.
so for those who aren't familiar with the Souls titles or those who are convinced they don't like them, just hear me out for a second. There, there, like Brent was saying earlier, there's a skill in there, but because there's a skill that you have to learn, each person learns differently, and the game lets you kind of play how you want to play. For example, in the original Dark Souls, parrying and shields were just insane. Like you walk around, you play like it kind of the game kind of favored a more defensive play style. Bloodborne is the complete opposite. Bloodborne is visceral. It's like an offensive play style. It has this mechanic where if you hit the enemy, you'll regain your life for a little. If you hit the enemy soon, you'll regain the health that you lost, and that just incentivizes you to be aggressive. And when it comes to the Souls games, I am always an aggressive dexterity glass cannon character. Like I just that is the build I always favor. And Bloodborne gives someone who has that play style, Bloodborne gives that person exactly what they're looking for. And I love Bloodborne. Second plug, I think Bloodborne is up there. You talked about Xenogears and its story and its philosophy. The Eldritch uh, style of storytelling in Bloodborne like is ah it it's so scary because it's so unknown. Like you have no idea what's coming around the next corner here, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I think Elden Ring is the better game. I will be honest.
Yeah.
But Bloodborne is fantastic.
Oh, it is.
It's absolutely
Like
fantastic.
I hear, like with Bloodborne, it was all about the atmosphere for me. It was just
Yes.
every single corner of the world. Just wow, that gothic setting.
Yes.
Um, love the change in the gameplay style as well. Um, and I haven't like is Duskbloods is the one that's coming out soon.
Duskblood.
Is that actually a sequel, or do we
It,
know yet, or what?
if it is, I don't think they're promoting it as it is as one. So
I know
but it get
it's co-op though, isn't it?
yeah, I think they're kind of so what they're doing with with Elden Ring right now with the new co-op style, I feel like they're testing out. I
Hmm.
I could be wrong, but I feel like they're testing out some newer, maybe more updated co-op play styles. Um, but yeah, it
Yeah, it
definitely
makes
has
sense.
that Bloodborne vibe, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's got blood in the game. That's the first thing. Blood in the name. Sorry, that's the first thing that
But
I thought. But yeah, no. Look, I know that fans like you have been screaming out for a
oh my
sequel for a
gosh.
long time.
Or
Um,
just bring it to current console. Like just yeah, anyway. We won't get into that.
Just a really quick question for you. You
Yeah.
talked about the combat a bit in Bloodborne. What do you think about Sekiro's combat?
Oh, loved it. Sekiro is probably my maybe we're gonna be at opposite ends here. Sekiro is probably my lesser of my favorites of From Software's games. Um,
Right.
Probably because they took away that safety blanket of leveling. Like
Yeah.
like they're not easy games, and there's something to be
Yeah.
comfortable about. Like, well, let's grind out a few
Did
levels.
you finish it?
I did not.
Man, that is one of my like video gaming triumphs. Beating that final boss.
It's-
Like I must have spent like 3 weeks, no joke, 3 weeks, like 80 attempts to do it, but I don't know
I gotta be honest.
the
I'm scared
feeling
of the
of
game.
satisfaction. But yeah, it's a scary game, mate. I was, and then I did it, and it's just so satisfying.
Congratulations. Like that should go on your gravestone. Like that.
Yeah, no, I will. It's on my resume as well. That's how I got my
Make
most
sure,
recent job.
make sure your kids are telling their kids the story of how their father beat
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 Sekiro.
Sekiro. All right, next up.
Yeah. All right. This is my two. We are at number two. All right.
Yes.
So this is actually the first JRPG that I ever played, or first RPG I ever played seriously, I think. So I guess I could thank this game for my channel that I've got now and my obsession with the genre. And I think this aligns with your taste a lot based on what you just said, but it's Final Fantasy VIII.
Yes, sir.
It so bit of context. I saw my friend would have been about 10, I think. Saw my friend play Final Fantasy VII at his place. He it was at Chocobo Ranch and walking around Midgar, and I was thinking, oh man, this world is massive. It's so cool. I never got a chance to play it, but later I got a PS1, and then shortly after FF8 was released, and I got it, and I was hooked. And I've never been so hooked on a game in my life. Like I was obsessed, and that is when I knew video gaming was for me. Like I had a Nintendo, call them NES, NESs. I call them NESs
Uh-huh.
over in Australia. But I was never really that hooked on a game. But once I saw that opening with, Squall and Tifa, Libere Fratelli playing, I was in love. I fell in love with all the characters. Like Zell had that hot dog addiction. This is the
Yes.
nerdiest thing ever. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to high school and I'm gonna order just hot dogs because Zelda's must be good. Like this was also the era of save files, something kids these days will never understand.
No.
Like you have 15 blocks, and I reserved like a few blocks on my memory card for different points in the game, and one of them was on the Ragnarok when Eyes on Me plays with Squall and
Yes.
Renoir.
When he
I must have
saves
played that.
her. Oh,
I reckon I played that about 20 or 30 times. Just
I can't
absolutely
tell
again
you how
obsessed.
many times I've watched the opening FMV.
Yeah,
Like
I don't think there's an FMV or like an opening that's as strong as that one
no,
in like video
no,
game
there's
history.
not. No game has opened up with that much like Chad. You know, like, it's just like just I cannot
Oh man,
believe how good. Oh, yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. I have a very similar experience coming up, by the way. The Final Fantasy VIII, as someone who who appreciates and has built his entire YouTube career around like broken games that you can like
right?
manipulate to
Yeah,
high heaven, Final Fantasy VIII might be one of the just like the
yeah.
different exploits and stuff in that game are just legendary.
That's the funny thing. So there's this junction system, right? The first time I played, I had no idea what I was doing, and I made it to disc three, where you have to verse Adele or Adel or whatever you call her,
Uh-huh, the
without
witch.
junctioning anything. I put on GFs, but I didn't junction any magic to the stats, and I just got absolutely destroyed. So you can make it up to that point pretty easily without junctioning anything. But at that point, I realized, all right, I'm going to start the game again. I was like young and I didn't have many other options, so I
Yeah.
that was my only game pretty much. So I started it again, learnt how the junction system worked, and yeah, and then I abused it. I recently played that. Have you played the remaster?
No, no.
Yeah, you're not missing out on much. It's pretty crappy. Well, it looks pretty crappy because they've upscaled these character models, but
Yeah.
the backgrounds are all really low res, which is
Oh.
absolutely ridiculous.
They
It's got a load of criticism. It's
they
just
pulled
mind
one of
blowing.
my sorry, they pulled one of my least favorite things in remakes is censorship. I know it's so small, but like they went and changed the Siren GF and
Oh yeah,
I feel like there
yeah,
was something else too. I think it was Renoa's top they moved up, which was like what?
yeah.
But
Probably a millimeter or two.
yeah, and I have such a hard time with that. I sit there and think like, dude, like this if this game was okay in the 90s, it can be okay now. Like you guys would be all right. Don't
Yeah,
touch it. But yeah,
yeah,
I do really like the remasters of games, but Final Fantasy 9 is one of those where like that meme where it's like you're one of the most attractive people around here in the dancing scene.
yeah.
I
And then
think
you
like
zoom in, and it's all pixelated.
that's my squall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, they look better in the remaster, but they lack the facial emotions. So it
Yeah.
kind of looks a bit weird as well because you can actually see that they look like dolls sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
But,
that,
but before you get into your number two, another shout out for the soundtrack, which is probably my
oh,
favorite soundtrack out of like any game. It's
not
just
just not
amazing.
just your favorite. We have like it is the one of the greatest Final Fantasy VIII soundtrack is one of the greatest video game soundtracks ever made.
Oh mate, so good, so good.
Peak Nobuo. Like
Oh yeah,
easily. Easily. All right, cool. Yeah, my number two, uh Xenoblade Chronicles. Uh
nice.
I I think that I love this series. Xenoblade Chronicles. So I wasn't a part of, but I followed was it Project Rain?
Operation Rainfall. Yeah,
Operation Rainfall. Yeah. I followed them. And
yeah,
I saw the trailer of Xenoblade and I was like, this is what I'm looking for. Like I'd spent some time. I lived in the South Pacific in Samoa for 2 years. And and
right.
then I was doing summer cells after that and stuff. And I hadn't played video games for a really long time. And then I won a Wii from I did summer cells in New Jersey and I won a Wii. And I went back and I was like, well, what should I play on the Wii? And I like was like, what games are like Final Fantasy? Like that was like that's the search I did.
Yeah,
And Xenoblade Chronicles popped up and I watched the trailer and I thought, this is it. Like
yeah,
this is what's gonna get me back into this. Uh the story, the characters, the gameplay. I love that a series that only came over the States and I believe it was to Australia's territory too, right? Like it
yeah,
didn't yeah, okay. The
yeah. It came here.
the English release though came to us because of a petition and now like this is Nintendo's competing like Keystone RPG series. Like that's an amazing story. This is an amazing story.
Mm, yeah.
But I love that game. Like I've played it so many times.
Oh, it could have been in. I've only played it once. It could have been in my top 10, and it was really close. But I think it's because I only played it on release, and I could not say better things about it. Like, I mean, for me, the story was great, right? But the
Uh-huh.
exploration was
Yes.
just like next level. That was like the bar of exploration for many years, and I think only like when it comes to JRPGs, only maybe Xenoblade Chronicles X might come close to competing with that, but
Oh, I actually the
uh,
exploration X is much better in my opinion. X
you
is
reckon?
fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh, so
yeah.
good.
So,
So good.
so I need to play the remaster. I haven't played the remaster. I haven't played it since it was released on the Wii, but yeah, I can hear what you're saying. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. All right. You're number two. Oh, wait. Or is this your number one?
Yep.
This is your number
My number
one.
one. We're at that time of the night.
Oh man.
Oh, things are getting serious.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know. Well, if you sub to my channel, then you'll know what this is, and you'll also know that I don't say the name right. But I don't care, and I'm never going to say the name right because I've been saying this name the way I say it since it was released in like 1999, 2000. It is Suikoden 2, and this is a. You know, they say that a lot of people, their favorite RPGs are the first ones they play,
Yeah.
and it might be true because previously I talked about Final Fantasy VIII, which was my first game, and now this is Suikoden 2, and that's the second RPG I ever played. So, you know, my top two are my first two.
Yeah.
But I mean, what a good way to get into the genre.
Oh,
Um,
so good.
to me, this game is perfect in every way, and I've played it like a dozen times, and you know that's just recently been reinforced with the remaster that's just come out.
Which I still am amazed that exists. Like I have one and two remastered on my shelf right now. Like I cannot believe we live in a world where that's the case.
Uh, yeah, like uh, oh, I've got a bit of a story to tell about this. So
Yeah, let's hear it.
Uh, well, first of all, if you've never heard of the series, basically all the Suikoden games are related to each other and set in different regions. They're all focused on a war, and you play the role of a hero that eventually recruits 108 characters and builds an army to oppose another army and basically win a war and, you know, stop people from like stop an
Being
empire or
dicks.
whatever from being dicks, right? And it's awesome. You get a headquarters. You can recruit over 100 characters. There's massive war battles. There's 1v1 duels, and this is like the best in Suikoden 2. So like what they did in Suikoden 1 was great, but that's just built on so much more in the second game. And like I talked about being obsessed with Final Fantasy 8, this was like even more in with Suikoden 2. Like at one point, like I took over a Suikoden roleplay site called Castle Northwind. And it was a really successful site where we had like hundreds of people like log on and do role plays of like this an alternative Suikoden story.
Oh, no
And
way.
like I had such fond memories there. I made so many great friends. This was when the internet was amazing. Like I don't know, like 2000s internet was just incredible when there were forums before
Yeah.
social media. It was just like, what a time to be alive.
And it will never happen
it,
again. It was
it
like a
won't. It
blip in
won't.
history and it will never be repeated again.
You can't even explain the experience. You can tell them what it was, but like the feeling of coming home from like school or work or whatever and not having any social media or anything to check on, and then coming home, logging onto a desktop and then checking stuff was just like that's never going to happen again. Like you said,
No,
just
it's
amazing.
once in a an existence experience for sure. That's awesome. So love Suikoden 2. My first Suikoden was Suikoden 5 and I
Yeah,
played
amazing as well. So amazing.
I played 5 and I was like, what have I been missing? And so I went through and played the whole series and then right as I finished up the final one, which I think was oh no, I haven't played 3, which I'm going to get to
Oh,
on this challenge, but I played 1, 2, 4, and 5. Um
okay.
um the right as I finished, I think it was 4, Uden Chronicles Kickstarter was announced.
Oh,
And I went on, I was like,
yeah.
dude, take my money. Take my money.
Yeah.
Give me more.
Man, I spent so much money on that campaign, and I'm still waiting for my
Oh,
figures to come.
oh no.
Can't wait to put them up. But
It,
you started with Suikoden 5. That's amazing because like this is just how amazing Suikoden is. Like if you've never played it, there's a character in Suikoden 2 that you just come across at the end of the game that you can recruit called George, and
yes.
he doesn't say much. You don't know much about him. You know he was like from Felena before, but then when Suikoden 5 comes, he plays such a key part, and like he's actually part of probably the best scene in the entire series, like involving him and like Queen Arshtat. I'm not going to give anything away,
Yes.
but like just like that progression of like a nobody that you don't know much about to like a key figure with some amazing scenes.
I
That's just what makes Sukuna so amazing.
I almost feel like he was he was the main character. Like it was like his story
Yeah, it's,
almost,
yeah,
in
exactly.
five. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
realize, but I almost nearly played them in chronological order of the story because
All right.
five is the first one.
No, four is the first one.
No, oh, you're right,
Four's,
you're right. Four was the pre. That's right. I'm getting mixed up. But yeah, oh,
yeah,
so good. The
yeah,
whole Pokemon-esque collecting party members and how well they do at developing that many characters, dude. And
yeah.
Gene is always in my party. I just
Oh
gotta put
yeah,
that in.
oh yeah.
Like, I'm
Gotta
a
be.
no Gene, go home. So
Yeah. No, but, there was a time that Sukino 3 was my favorite in the series. So, play that. It's a little bit dated, but it is amazing. Amazing story.
yeah, the reason I haven't gotten to it is because I started that PS2 challenge after I beat the two PlayStation 2 Suikoden, so I'm gonna have to play them again for the challenge. So I was planning on going
All right.
3, 4, 5 again. So I'm looking forward to it. Very
I
much looking
can't
forward
wait.
to it. It's probably my most requested tier list is a tier list of Suikoden 3 and Suikoden 1 because I've done 2, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Um yeah, my
Man, that's
subscribers,
going to be hard. That's going to be a lot of work.
dude, they are so much work. They're so much work and no one's ever happy with them. So
Yeah.
Uh, all right. My number one, and you said it. You tend to like never forget your first JRPG. Final Fantasy VII has always been my all-time favorite game. I
Beautiful.
absolutely love it. I have not, I've, it's the game I've played the most I've beaten it the most. My story behind this is that so I didn't grow up like in a really wealthy family, and so we didn't have like a lot of video game consoles and stuff. But I had a cousin who was just like filthy rich. And his family was
Yeah.
filthy rich, and so he had every console on launch, and he had all these different games. Like I remember that was the first time I saw an N64. It was the first time I saw a PlayStation 1. Anyway, went over to his house, and he's playing this game. And there's this dude with a giant sword, and there's this vampire and a ninja, and they're like in a team, and they're standing there, and then he's telling them what to do, and then they do it. And I was like,
Yeah.
I remember I sat down, and I remember watching a TV, and I was like, I liked this stuff before I knew what it was. Like I
Yeah.
didn't have to learn to love JRPGs. I just had to find them. You know what I mean? Like I don't know
Yeah.
if that's your
Exactly. Like,
experience.
yeah, exactly with me. Yeah.
Like it was like innate. I felt the same way about anime too. Like I watched cartoons and they were all the same thing, and then I saw Dragon Ball Z and I was like, okay, this is different.
Here
And
we go.
this is hitting different for me. Anyway, but Final Fantasy 7, yeah, I just love that game so much. It's one of those games that as soon as I pop it in, I'm just transported back. It doesn't matter how many times I play it.
Yeah.
So I think it will always just strictly by the laws of the universe be my favorite RPG of all time.
Yeah. And you and many other people.
Yes, yeah, it's not a unique
And for good
opinion.
reason. Do you remember your first Final Fantasy VII party? Like your
Uh,
main party that you finished the game with?
yes, I did. So I do. So it was Cloud, Sid, and Vincent.
Yeah, me too.
What? No way. That was yours?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that yeah, dude. I was like, I want the cool guys, like
Yeah,
I want the
totally.
cool yeah, and I actually have beaten it with every single party member just to make things different, like
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
fun.
I don't think of. Yeah, might have had them all actually, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
maybe
yeah,
not Yuffie. I don't know.
fantastic game, dude. It's
So
just
good, so good.
like and I really am happy that they're remaking remaking it. I think I'm looking forward to part three. I think a lot of my kind of overall thoughts ride on it. I think
Yeah.
they could royally screw this up, or
Oh,
they
they
could
could. It's
or they
so
could
easy.
create something timeless. I don't know.
They're playing with fire here, aren't
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So what about that Final Fantasy VIII remake? When's that happening?
they? Oh, my, like, well, apparently nine's next, but oh, with eight, I don't even know what I'd want. Like, would I want to like a 1-to-1, or I really like what they're doing with seven. Like, with you don't know what's going to happen. Like, the variations in the story,
Yeah.
the expanded characters and plot threads. Yeah, I probably want that, but
If
see
any
what happens.
if any story has room to do something like that, it's Final Fantasy VIII story. Like
Oh, there's
with the dimensional witches and all that, man. Like that's
so many theories that they could go with.
they could. All right. Well, Brent, thank you for joining me, man. This was tons of fun. Listening to your top 10, I think like it could easily just swap for mine. Except for
Yeah, they were pretty close.
Xenogears and
Metal Gear Solid
Metal
3.
Gear Solid 3. I'm making a promise to you. I will go hit those up. You make sure to hit Persona 4 when it comes out, okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm waiting for that remake. It's going to happen soon.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and I really appreciate you joining the channel. And for those of you who are watching, please go over to Hellfire RPG and subscribe. Uh, follow Brent's journey as he builds up this awesome JRPG community over there. So be
Thanks
sure to
for
like,
having me.
yeah, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you later.